And let's get to an excerpt of the exclusive conversation that Rahul Kanwal had with poll strategist Prashant Kishore, who's also working for the DMK in the state of Tamil Nadu.
Now, you're in this unique position where you're speaking to Mamata Banerjee on one phone and Stalin on the other. How are you coping with these two requirements?
I have only one phone, so whether I'm speaking to MKS or Mamata Di,
no, but you get what I'm saying. Like
yes,
how difficult is it to try and focus on two completely different election scenarios?
It's a challenge which I have accepted, and I think I'm supported by very able colleagues. They are able to manage things. I work as hard as I could, but largely the team is pretty capable to pull it off.
Is Tamil Nadu much easier than West Bengal?
See, no election is easier. It looks easier for people who are commenting from the outside. You go and talk to the DMK rank and file today and tell them that Bengal is very difficult. They are not bothered about Bengal election. They are bothered about how to win Tamil Nadu and their own constituency. So those who are actually, those whose neck is actually on the line, for them elections can never be easy. But given the overall scenario, you could say that Bengal is much more high-stake game, looks like much more high-stake game than what it is in Tamil Nadu.
In Tamil Nadu, over the past several months, Chief Minister E.P. Palanisamy seems to have made some kind of a comeback. That the AIADMK doesn't seem as weak and fractured and divided as it was. They've been able to come together. Their anti-incumbency isn't quite as high as it was immediately after Amma died. And therefore, does that then present a greater challenge to the DMK than seemed the case a few years ago?
See, this whole debate of EPS, as he's popularly called, doing better, is based on the very low base or literally no expectation people have from him. So people thought he will collapse, he would not be able to run government, AIADMK will cease to exist. Of course, those things have not happened. And we must give him credit for that. But this is not to say that he has become the most popular, more acceptable, charismatic leader as some are trying to make out to be. Yes, by his own low standards and widespread people's expectation, he has done better. But make no mistake, DMK is headed for one of its biggest victories in Tamil Nadu.
Now, one of the imponderables at this moment, or the variables, is the DMK Congress seat sharing talks, where we're still in the middle of that conversation. But the Congress is being offered about 20 odd. They started by expecting about 70. They've now come down to about 35. But there still seems to be a 15-seat gap between expectation and the offer.
Yeah, but whenever you have an alliance in an election, these things are part and parcel. You know, AIADMK, BJP, they are equally, struggling with their own alliance partners. Freezing of these numbers, it takes time. Sometimes, it matches your expectations. Sometimes there is a give and take. I'm sure it will get sorted in the next 2-3 days' time.
How do you see the Sasikala factor play itself out and this effort that's being made to engineer a rapprochement between Sasikala, OPS, EPS and the AIADMK, the breakaway faction and the existing card?
See, I'm not an expert on the lady per se, what actually she brings on the table, but just theoretically speaking, AIADMK, which is the party or the faction which probably she represents, they are a breakaway part of AIADMK. So any realignment, it goes without saying, would be advantage, would help AIADMK by that much. But if you add 2% more vote, AIADMK goes with AIADMK and they all come together, it might help them with 2-3-4% vote. No one can quantify exactly how much, but at least psychological boost, a little bit of psychological boost. I think the gap between the DMK and the AIADMK alliance in Tamil Nadu is so wide that I do not see that having any material impact on the possible outcome of Tamil Nadu.
How do you see the BJP's play in Tamil Nadu? For a party that has as limited support and vote share, they seem to be making a rather ambitious and audacious play.
Because they are ruling India. Not because they have great presence in Tamil Nadu or there is a great deal of public support for BJP. It's just because they are the big brother by virtue of being the ruling party in India. So they can arm twist, they can impress upon those who are the key players in Tamil Nadu to take them on board. So BJP, whatever they are presenting or whatever they are, if they are trying to make themselves an important player in Tamil Nadu, it's just a function of their strength at India level. It's not, it has got nothing to do with their presence in Tamil Nadu. BJP in Tamil Nadu is still, I would say, less than a marginal player.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.